Sam Barber, fresh off the Big 12s, and I know people look at it and they go 8th place. They think that's not a great deal, but wow, it's higher than ever in Air Force history, and I thought a great performance by your team. What was your take?
Oh, just like telling you, this is it's going to be a tough interview for me. I try not to get too. I try to keep it the same all the time, but I'm like through the roof excited about this team and the performance this weekend. It's just literally blown away, and I've been in awe. I've been in awe since like the first whistle blew in Tulsa on Saturday, and it's just like after every match and every performance, you're just like, these guys are just wrestling so hard, right? And if you go up and down the lineup from 125 to heavyweight, every time the Falcons shook hands with somebody and the whistle blew, these guys competed hard, and that part of it is just blown away, like how ready we were and how excited they were. And it didn't matter if you were one of the 7 medalists or Seamus Casey, who came back and he got 9th place and won a match as a freshman in the Big 12, or if you're Garrett Kutchin and you're Jack Ganos, that just competed so hard with so much heart and so much passion and put their best performance on the mat at the end of the year, just like we talked about all year. They grew and developed so much from the first week of competition to the last week. So like that's for me like where I'm just so incredibly excited, fired up, just proud of our team for how they showed up, how they competed, the approach that they took all season long. I mean, this team, every week they just kept getting better and better and better and better, and they were so consistent. So from 125 to heavyweight, just every single guy had their best performance, and some of those performances were good enough to lead to other opportunities, and some of those performances are going to be performances that are going to ignite guys for, I think, those same opportunities a year from now. But yeah, like 8th place finish in the Big 12. Again, it's 8th, it's not first, but for us, it's a Power 5 conference. I think 11 of those teams are in the top 25 in the country. We got over 80 guys going to the NCAA tournament, so if you're in that tournament, you're probably wrestling somebody that's in the top, national rankings of the country. There's just no easy matches, no easy guys, no easy teams. So for us to walk out of there with a top 8 finish with 7 guys with medals, and the performance we had and how we did it is just real. It just was an amazing team performance for us. So shout out to our team, our coaching staff, the support, the fan support was incredible. Alumni, parents, people that just are bleed blue, that are former Air Force or military. Oklahoma is really strong that way. So it was just an amazing weekend. Really proud of our program and the steps we took forward.
And as if you weren't flying high enough, find out today that 5 of your wrestlers will be going on to the NCAA championships. That's a record, 2 more than ever before.
Yeah, I think it's two more than Big 12. We've had 7 guys back in the the 60s, but 5 is a program high average. Last time we did that was 1991, so it's been a while, and it's the first time in the Big 12. But yeah, like Tucker Owens, freshman in our program, shows up and he's just always ready to wrestle. He's always gritty, and he competed really hard in every single match again, and the matches that he had to win, against Utah Valley, he goes out there and beats the guy that's seated ahead of him, right? A guy that was earned an allocation. So upset a guy that was probably supposed to go and took his spot. And that's what you got to do. And Cody Fippen, came through there, really, really some tough matches. He ends up beating the guy the first round. He gets 3rd, loses an overtime match, loses another really close match. But he just had a great season, So for him to get picked up that large, I think speaks to the body of work and the season he had, and he's earned that opportunity. He's just had a great season. He's been really consistent, and I think he's, the light bulb has come on that if he wrestles in a way that where he's fierce and he's just winning positions, and he's wrestling free with, being the best version of himself he can on a wrestling mat, that he can compete with anybody, and he's in the conversation to be an All-American. So Dylan Martinez's story is incredible, right? Like, it's just a set of circumstances in the Big 12 where we had to have a wrestle back for 8th place. He thinks his career is over. He thinks his season's over. He's up in the stands. He's got to get down to weight again, and then he's got to get up for two big matches again. He's got to go against two guys that were national ranked, 2 guys that were were seated ahead of him, wins both of those matches, and he just creates an opportunity for himself and kind of lived out the thing we talk about in our program all the time, that we're not going to allow the circumstances to be bigger than our goals. And Sam Wolf, he's been dealing with some health issues all year long, and it hasn't slowed him down. It hasn't slowed him down. I would say, he's at 100% of what he would be, because he wouldn't accept anything less, based on his circumstances as well. So for him to get into the semifinals, it's the first time in the history of the program where we've had two guys in the semifinals at the same time with Sam and Wyatt. But for him to get himself in the semifinals, give him a chance to be a Big 12 champ. Once that didn't happen, it was time to get him ready for the NCAAs and get him healthy so he can go out there. And again, he's going to be a guy that's in the top half of the field and a guy that can make some noise. So, and then finally, Wyatt Hendrickson, two-time Big 12 champion, right, in dominant fashion, right? It's like a major and a tech and just a really solid win against a guy that's, I think, 6th or 7th in the country. That guy is really good. The Big 12 at heavyweight, we're bringing, I think, eight guys, right? And Wyatt's at the top of those guys. That's 1/3 of the field already that he's seen in our conference tournament. So for him, he's just, he's really grown as a competitor. He's evolved in figuring out how to wrestle tactically and technically and hard at the same time. He's an amazing ambassador for this institution. He's signing autographs. He's giving shouts out to his squadron on ESPN. So, we're just so proud of Wyatt and how he represents the program, right? And I think for obviously big expectations for him at NCAAs, but any of our expectations or any expectations anybody else has aren't bigger than his own, right? He's committed to these goals or his goals. He's doing it because it's where he wants to be. And I've never seen a guy that's more capable, more ready than Wyatt Hendrickson.
For sure. I do want to ask you, though, I know you're going to get 5 guys trying to get them ready for the NCAA, but can you pause for just a second for us, for the listening people here, and just what does this mean for your program to do as well as you did at the Big 12s and have this many guys going to the NCAAs?
I think it's just, we talk about this stuff too, and, we try and do the right things, right? We've been really intentional about doing the right things, and sometimes it's just like you're doing the right things, you just got to do them long enough. And I feel like it's a culmination of that. And one of the things that's been critical to our program is just surrounding our guys with the right people. And a shout out to our coaching staff, right? Coach Joe, Coach Chris, Coach Scotty, George Lopez, Marcus Rodriguez, Cody Armstrong, our trainer, Bryce Taylor, our strength coach. We just got an incredible staff. That's the first piece of it. Those guys are impacting the athletes and the culture. And I think the culture is just something we fight so hard for, and something I'm so I'm unrelenting on, and as far as where the line of the sand is and what we'll accept. Because what you accept, what you tolerate is what you're going to have as your culture, right? So we've fought really hard to have a culture. Guys before, the alumni, the most recent alumni, that have shifted us to this point. The guys, our team captains, and Cole and Sam, and the guys that have bought in on the team for it. So I think it's just this culmination of we've had this vision of what it can be, and it's just every piece of that is come together. If it's the coaching staff, if it's the athlete, if it's the guys that came before that bought in and were a little bit at a time chipping away. It's the guys that a long time before who've had success in the program that have shown that what's possible. In 1991, right? Last time we had 5 national qualifiers, first conference championship team at the United States Air Force Academy. So what does it like to pursue excellence? They broke down those barriers. We've just pursuing that. 2002, 2003, All-Americans on the podium. We've been chasing that ever since then. We're at 20 years. We think we got a chance to finally do some of those things that those teams did. And here's the cool thing about that too, is that those guys are all showing up, right? We've never had better alumni support. We've had guys off from the 91 team, the 2002 team, the 2003 team. We've had alumni at every single away or home contest we've had this year, every single one, all right, and parents. And we've had parents. So the support, the people that are showing up in the long blue line, it's incredibly impactful. It's one thing to say you have support. It's another thing to see it every weekend, right? And I think the guys see that and they sense it and they feel it and they understand they're part of something that's it's a program. It's a whole thing. So that part of it, just a shout out to the program and hey, we've been trying to do the right things. We feel like we've done them to the point of where we're really starting to see some return on that investment. And here's the cool thing is that we can go higher. Like, we can go higher. Like, we're sitting here going, yeah, we got 5. That's great. Like, we could have had more. Right, we're going to have more. So I think that's the exciting thing. Is that as much as like this is a little bit of a high watermark for our program in recent years, we still see opportunities for growth and opportunities for us to continue to do things above and beyond this.
Yeah, that's awesome, Sam. Congrats again on the Big 12 turnout, and good luck getting these guys ready. We'll talk to you again before you head out.
I appreciate it. Thanks.